Howdy ho, off-road truck fans. And by off-road, I don't mean taking your thing on the beach. We're talking real off-roading here. So MiniGT number 542, we have the 1971 British Trans-America's Expedition Range Rover. So I'm reading a website called the Dunsfold Collection. Two of these vehicles, those I guess, drove from Anchorage, Alaska all the way down to Tierra del Fuego, the south of Chile. It was an 18,000 mile trip, and they passed some difficult areas called the Darien Gap, and which is like a 250 mile long forest, swamps, rivers, and stuff like that, as you can see in some of these images. And they had a lot of problems because they loaded so much gear into these things. They even took out the back seats. There was only one rear seat. The rest of it was all gear. So they were having differential problems, you know. It just couldn't handle all that weight. So someone eventually figured out, hey, you gotta stop using such big tires and get rid of some of the gear and you'll get out of here. That is the story that I'm deriving from the internet. Of course, I was not there, so who knows what really happened. So let's take a look at these. These look fairly recent, these photos. Oh, one of them got into a head-on collision as well, but it was obviously restored. I don't know which of these two. Okay, there, pause as you will. So I just wanted to show this one. They're using these funky, crazy-looking ladders, right? So with two of them, I guess they would have 4 ladders, right? So maybe that's also why they needed two vehicles. Well, I guess they could have just stacked these vertically and had 4 or 10 of them, but more weight. I mean, look at this approach here. That's crazy. So here you'll see the giant tires. I guess that's what they maybe started with, and that was kind of why they went bad. Look at this precarious situation there, and that is cool as well. So yeah, very neat. I like basically just doing things that aren't normal with your vehicles. I like. So let's start here. It's not a metallic blue. It's just a regular paint finish, it looks like. I mean, yeah, I don't really see any sort of metal flakes in there. Yeah, that's fine. That's probably what the real truck looked like. The wheels here, they look pretty good. They look like the photographs to me. They're like some sort of stamped wheels. And you can see some lug nut details there. And then you got these 5 holes, which are actually passing air, so that's good. Really tiny holes, that is. A little black circle, it's a little misprinted here, it's better on the rear. And then the tires are good. I mean, they're really big and rounded, like old tires would be, such high aspect ratio. And even though this is an off-road truck, you'll notice it doesn't have crazy knobby tires that a lot of brands put on their racing cars. Right, this is what it looks like, and actually the tires in the photograph look gnarlier than this, but these look like street tires, but you can clearly see they're not. They're off-roady, right? So that's good, MiniGT, fantastic. Another great thing about this brand is the disliking, or generally they avoid the use of decals. My Stratos has a decal, and you'll watch that video. I picked away at it. But this is all paint, so this is good. You know, it's going to be as good as the paint underneath it. Look at all this printing. It's just all multiple colors. You know, it's all crisp and legible. It's very impressive. And it doesn't look all wrinkly and have air gaps on the door, you know, door cuts and stuff. So we got to complain, everyone, guys. Everyone go on to other people's websites and say, hey, stop using decals. And another great thing as well is the use of rubbery mirrors. So you don't really have to fear those breaking off. Alright, going to the front. Very nice. These auxiliary lights have clear plastic inserts. They're not just painted on like, sadly, those are. But the headlights, I assume, are also clear plastic inserts. Yeah. There's a deep light bucket back there. Looks very realistic, I think. And then even the little side corner lamps here have some orange and clear plastic, so that's good. Yeah, the mirrors are great. Granted, there's no silver there, but I mean, the cost of this thing wasn't that much. But I like how they have a recess. You can take a silver pen and fill it in because it's recessed. Alright, these fog lamps are just part of this bumper casting, and they're not even on that, I don't see them on any of the photos. They probably started with fog lamps and then realized that they shouldn't have those when they're doing crazy approaches, right? Or they just probably sheared them off somewhere along the way. Okay, you can see a little grill action back there. This winch here is actually hollow here. It's not blanked off. I'm just getting a look at this bumper. It's, you know, it looks comically large. I kind of thought it had to do with maybe the fact that these are rolling toys, and maybe MiniGT didn't want that to break. But I'm looking at that front photograph, the very first photograph, and it is comically large. This big brace here, and this actually looks too thin compared to that photograph. But I could be wrong. You'll have to pause yourself and go back and pause. Alright, nice to see some black paint up in that vent there. It's got two of these bumps there. I don't know what those are, but I saw them on the Inno 64 as well. I'll pull that one out later. Okay, some smudging, but it's not permanent. So you gotta take a Q-tip or a cleaning cloth to that. So a lot of old companies on this sponsorship. Interesting. Okay, this side looks pretty good. So yeah, those, oh, well, these are at least rubbery as well. So that's very cool. Very cool. You got the wiper blades molded in, raised, painted black. You have some window molding effect, it looks like. Part of the wind. No, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just an illusion of the thickness. It looks black, but I can't say for sure. Maybe it's not. I think that's just all clear plastic. But going to the side, you have a little black printed on this clear plastic. Same back here. Although this is an actual ledge. That I can feel. Alright. There's some sort of box there. Maybe there's a plastic tab. Why would that be there? Looking at the photographs, I don't see it. I was thinking there's a plastic tab holding it in place, but I don't think it is. So I'm not sure why that's there. Interesting. Please leave a comment if you know. There's some venting back here. It's painted black. And then, boy, where'd it go? I guess let's just go around to the back. First thing I see is the fact that the exhaust tip goes into this snorkel. I guess it'd be the other way around, right? What do you call a reverse snorkel? It looks like a snorkel, but it's putting out air instead of sucking it in. So that way it can ford that river and not drown the engine, or suffocate the engine, or choke it. Alright, well, this rear bumper here has these bumps. I don't know what those would be for. It looks like there's straps tied to this on that climbing photo that I showed. So maybe they're tie downs or something. The rear lights look really good. You know, clear orange, clear red. A little bit of white there as well, it looks like. So very nice. It's nice to see the license plate. I'm sure that's a real license plate. It's hidden in that photograph I pulled up, but okay. And then the Range Rover looks nice and legible. All this stuff looks nice. And then what are these things? I see them on the photo. I just don't know what they are. Please leave a comment. And then this is probably a hand grab to open this hatch, if I had to guess. There's a raised painted black wiper blade there. And then what's going on here? What are these things? I feel like there's something there, but it's hard. I can't tell. My phone screen's small. You guys can see a lot more than I can. So very often, it's not until I actually watch the video myself on my larger monitor that I realize I missed a lot of stuff or described things improperly. This is the fuel filler, painted black. It's nice. It's actually recessed like the real Range Rover, so that's cool. Alright, let's go to the top here. Yeah, you got these big ladder things. They're just part of this thing molded in. That's fine. And then, yeah, it's nice to have the tires. You can really see the treads. They're very nicely done, the treads. The wheels are the same. What's going on in here? There's even stuff in here. There's like a green box. What else is in there? The green box has a handle, it looks like. It's hard to see through the grating, but... And then this is an ice cooler. You know, they gotta carry beers, I assume. maybe they run over random game and save them for later. Okay, well, I guess that's the outside. What's going on the bottom? Yeah, nice tread action. So we know who made it. We know it's made in China, and then you're on your own. I complain about it all the time. It's just like it's a major brand and they don't tell you what the car is. It's really strange. It makes no sense. It would make no monetary difference if they just got rid of some of these weird details you'd never care about and just wrote Range Rover, classic Range Rover or something, or right generation 1 Range Rover. The hitch here, or the tow hook, is a separate piece. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe this. I wonder if that's the tab. How is this held in the back? I wonder. It's obviously held in on the front there. All right, I don't know. But let's take a look at through the windows, because that's probably how most people will do it. Most people probably gotta take their stuff apart every time they want to look into it, right? This thing's way too bright. Yeah, nice tan interior, ribbing on the seat. You got the shifter there, another stock there. Maybe that's like a transfer case thing. I don't know if that's a radio there in the middle, but the steering wheel is hollow. There's some round gauges over there, some creases for the, I guess, dashboard. I mean the glove box, that is. There's some dots up on the top of the thing and some vent details on the top. Let's look at it from this side. Let's see. Yeah, hold on, I gotta hit focus again. That didn't help. Yeah, the door panel's way off there. They definitely have some details. I just can't hit focus because I'm using both hands right now. But if I lose the light... Hold on. Jeez. Okay, yeah, wind down windows. Even the back area, it's got a bunch of details. I don't know what those would be. Maybe the regular road car had seats back there as an option. Yeah, I don't know. Is that... Well, leave a comment if you know. No idea what those details are. The steering wheel possibly has silver in the middle. Oh boy. No, well, I don't know. I think it does have silver in the middle, so that's nice that they went through that trouble. Okay. 4 is 10. There's some ribbing in the trunk. Anyways, it's a pretty nice interior. No rear view mirror or anything like that, and that's fine. This is not a Horizon model. I gotta say, it looks pretty good though, for what it is. Boy, this is gonna be hard. I don't have a tray of comparison that holds these bases. I guess I'll have to put that on my shopping list. This is the Inno 64 of the Camel Trophy 82. So another type of expedition kind of thing in South America, I think it was, but leave a comment if you know for sure. I do like that this base has this like print on it, you know, looks very off-roady. Okay, now the Inno costs a lot more. So the Inno has rigid mirrors, so that's a reason why you probably don't want to take this off the base. If you drop it, that thing's gonna break. So the Inno has a pretty good grille as well. You know, it's plastic and stuff. It also has clear headlights and stuff. It also has the vertical grille as well. The tires are different, but that's fine. You know, these off-road trucks, they put in different tires, so I'm not concerned about that. Neither of these are stock Range Rovers, so the Inno has inserted black whatever thing these bumps are. I don't know if they're intakes maybe to an air filter, but why would they be on both sides? I also do wonder why, if you're going to have a snorkel back here this high, why is there not an intake snorkel that high? Anyways, it has nothing to do with the model. I went with the dirty version here. And what I like about this is, I think it has, nope, never mind. I thought this had rubbery mud flaps. They're just thin plastic. I think you'll break those quite easily. The mud flaps on this MiniGT are just part of the metal base. I think I forget what it was. I've seen mud flaps. Maybe it's like the Lancia or something. Maybe Tarmac Works. Anyways, I can't remember who uses rubber mud flaps, but I like the idea of that. Just looking at the door cuts here. You know, yellow has a hard time covering up a casting, so they're very filled in. The blue here, it seems to be a little bit better, maybe. Yeah, maybe they probably don't have to put as much blue down as a yellow paint job. The wheels are quite different as far as their casting, even though they're trying to be the same wheels, right? I'm gonna assume they're trying to be the same stamp wheels we saw in the first photograph. And so, knowing that, I kind of feel like MiniGTs look more like the photographs. Something about the way they stick out. They're like a cone. See, it's not a flat wheel. But something about this Inno. They look flatter. They don't look like a cone. They look more like a dome. And also, yeah, I don't think this is right. You see how this, I think these should be parallel lines, or straight lines. I just, for some reason, feel MiniGT's wheels are better. And then I also prefer the tires on the MiniGT. Although these are much knobbier for the Camel Trophy. I guess it just, I don't know. It's your call on that one. I will give credit to Inno. They do give you a bunch of these accessories you can jam up in there. The window molding on Inno is better though. They're literally painted window moldings on the Inno, but the MiniGT, I don't get that impression. It's hard to say because it's a dark blue vehicle, but I can't tell if there's any black printing on this body. So I think there isn't. I think what it is MiniGT offset the window. See, I think this is a groove. And that offset catches the light in a way that it might make it look like it's black. So it's very interesting, but obviously on the Inno it's just plain obvious that that's a black molding around the windows. Not so much on the Inno. I don't really care for the defroster lines. You don't see them on real cars, so I kind of feel MiniGT is smarter there. You notice this has a wiper here, but this one does not. But I don't know if the Camel Trophy truck came with a wiper, but I would have to assume it did. The license plate area is... why is it so high on the Inno? Right? Why is this rectangle way up here? It's literally touching the bottom ledge here. I feel like that's better because it's literally a gap. So MiniGT's better there. Yeah, different bumpers. That's acceptable. That makes sense. This one has a tow hook as well. Yeah. Oh, another thing is this thing has this black rectangle. I don't know if that's the door handle or what. Maybe it is. Is that on the MiniGT? It's hard to say because I don't think it is. Well, no, wait. I gotta look at it with my own eyes. Alright, there is a black box right here. So they printed that on. Yeah. Okay, so they got it. Both brands. I feel like the Inno is more defined though. I think they literally molded creases around the handle. Like right here it's going around. This also looks like it has external hinges, but this one does not. Or does it? Wait a second. I mean, you got a bump here, so it does. So they both have that. And then, yeah, they have their mirrors in different places. That's fine. This also has black. The wiper blades on the Inno are separate pieces though, and they're metal, photo etch metal. So, but again, I guess that's where some of the money's going. Really, I think a lot of the money is going into this giant thing of plastic, right? The amount of material for this base and the plastic cover is probably half the amount of the material to make the model. So I kind of wish, you know, more brands would just get away from these boxes and just have, you know, cheaper packaging. As long as it shows up safe, that's all that matters to me. But I also can't collect these bases, and I feel too guilty throwing them out. Alright, I think that's enough for the comparisons. I'm gonna put this away, and then we'll just... Whoa, man, that thing rolls. Okay, we'll pop that on here. I got a few other loose vehicles. I much prefer loose vehicles. TLV has this old Toyota FJ something or another, a J56V. This is a police car version, I guess. I put a license plate and now it's crooked already. This is a Kyosho G-Wagon. G55 maybe, a G63. I think it's no, it is a G55. And then good old Green Knight. They have this a Nissan Patrol. But, you know, Green Knight's in a different price category, so it has painted on headlights. Yeah, that's too bad. It's a shame. All the US brands, they all paint their headlights on, it seems. I don't know why they think that's realistic. Okay, let's get top view. Great stuff again from MiniGT. I gotta say, at first I was hesitant to get this because I felt like a lot of these parts looked really large, like goofy large. But now that I look at the photographs, that whole front bumper just looks goofy large. Right? These giant beams. Maybe the rack, you know, is a little bit thicker than it should be, but it's not obscene. And that's interesting. This one doesn't have the rear snorkel on, so it must be an add-on, you know, that can add or remove as necessary. But you would think, for me, I would just leave it on all the time. Like, why would you want to store it in the vehicle? Random tangent again. There I go. So, can I recommend this model? Yes. If you like things that actually do real four-wheel drive off-roading, this is a fantastic representation of it. So, kudos to MiniGT for getting this much detail on something that costs as much or less than you know, Inno 64 for me. Definitely less than Tarmac Works Hobby or Tarmac Works Road 64. That brand is, they gotta reduce their prices. There's too much competition these days. Alright, well thanks. I guess I'll see you in the next MiniGT review. Take care. Happy trails.